So sometimes it might be convenient to have a form added to a page so that there's a button on the page and you click on the button, opens up a modal window, and in the modal window is that form. And I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So the first thing you'll do is you'll need to go to the dashboard and find the form that you want to embed. So go to the dashboard and then under Forms, let's say this is a camp registration form. We'll use this one, okay? You can see that this is ID of 17, okay? And actually, let's click on Edit. And when you're in the Edit, you'll see that there's an Embed option. And you can see that this is Form 17, and it gives you actually a shortcode right here that you can copy, okay? So once you have the shortcode copied, now on whatever page you want the button to be accessible, the form accessible through that Modal pop-up window, you would go into the page builder, and then we're going to use an advanced module. Okay. Now I do suggest that you stick with the standard modules as much as possible, or the template modules that we've created. But in cases like this, it's appropriate to use these advanced modules. And there is, I'm going to just search for it actually, a modal pop-up right here under advanced modules. And actually there's one, a similar one under PowerPack modules, and those PowerPack modules actually tend to be maybe just a little bit more stable. At least we tend to see less issues with them, so we'll use that one instead. We'll use the modal box from PowerPack. Okay, so you just drag the module into the page. Let's say we want it, oh, looks like I let go of it a little early. It's right here. And I'm going to put this here. And let's see here. Let's get rid of our preview just for the moment. Okay. And actually let's just move this up right into the main first section. So in a moment, we're going to set it so that you'll see an actual button here. Okay. So the modal style will be, let's see here, content overlay close button. These are all the colors and styles that you can use for it. It must be under general. Do you want a standard, modal, width? I like for kind of a mid-size form width, I like 640, so I'm going to use that. Auto height is fine. Let's see, and the type is going to be raw HTML. Okay. Now this is where you're going to paste in the shortcode for the form. You'll see gravity form ID 17, titled true, and I'm actually going to make that false because, well, actually, you know what? That might be good to have the title there. We'll leave that. Okay. So now that modal box is set with the form as its content. We're not previewing it just yet, but let's go back into the modal box settings, and instead of a trigger of auto, we want the trigger to be on click. Okay, and then on click will give you a button immediately. Okay, and you can do a custom element click if you want to use another button. That might even be a little bit easier, because when you use this button, you have to kind of go through, and you can see how it doesn't really have any preset styles. You have to go through and style each thing. So we'll even do the slightly more complicated way that will actually make it a little bit quicker, and do custom element click. And then you can use a class or an ID. An ID is usually a good option for this case. So an ID has like a hashtag symbol ahead of it. So I'm going to call this form trigger. Now, if you used multiples of these on your site, you'd want to do a little bit more a little bit more detail than just form trigger. Like this would say, what was the form that we used? Camp registration. So I might say hashtag camp registration form trigger would be potentially my class, or my ID in this case. Now I'm going to copy that. Okay, so I just copied that. And so now the modal box is set up, and it's set up for when something gets clicked on that has the ID of form trigger. Okay, so now we can add just a standard button. So I'm going to hit this little save button. Can't see with my face in the way. Here we go. And then we will go to standard modules, and we'll just use a standard button. So here's our standard button. It already kind of looks like our other buttons, so that's nice. Let's center it, and let's register for camp. And essentially, for the link, we don't need to put anything. You can actually just put a hashtag symbol in there if you want it to stay empty. And then under the ID, we want to paste our form trigger. Okay, but make sure you don't have the hashtag in the ID field here. Okay, it will add that automatically. So now there's an ID of form trigger. The modal box knows that if something with the ID of form trigger gets clicked, then it's going to open the modal box. So let's just do a quick test to see how things work out. So we'll go ahead and publish it, and then we'll jump right back out here and give it a little test run, register for camp. And there it is. Now you can see that there's a modal title section that we didn't fill out. You can actually just remove the text there in the settings, and then the form text would suffice. But there's our camp registration form showing up as a pop-up window with just a button. Okay, so if you want to keep watching, I'm going to go ahead and go in and fix out that form title. So register for camp is in the button, and that's one module, but our pop-up form is another module that's on the page. So we're going to go in and edit the modal window module. So if you click on it, modal box settings. I may have gone just a little bit too quickly. Oh yeah, here we go. PowerPack modules modal box. And let's see, we go into settings. The settings look good. Button style, modal style. You can change the corner rounding on the box. Like maybe I'll make that 12. The box felt a little tight, like there weren't a lot of margins in the tight, so I'll add padding to the box itself. So we'll make that 24. Yes, I would like a shadow. Let's see what else here. Content overlay. That looks good. So then the title itself must be in the, yeah, it's in the general tab. So right here where it says modal title, you can delete that, and you can actually enable title yes or no. So I'll just hit no because the form title was already showing up there. Move this again. I'll hit save. I think we'll be in good shape. So let me go ahead and hit done and publish and come back out to it again. Okay, so now if we click on register for camp, there we go, that looks great. So we've got a little bit more padding in our box so that the form isn't, up against the edges quite as much. There's no title. The rounded edges look really good with the shadowing. You could go in and tweak the shadowing a little bit if you wanted, or tweak the color of the overlay that darkens the website behind it. But there's your completed form. So if you have any questions, as always, feel free to jump into the chat, and we would love to help. Thanks.